close to that?
I am close to move, probably next week.
Nice.
Yes, hopefully next week. Okay, I think we are done. Let me just check here.
Close to that.
I am close to move, probably next week.
Well, you did record it.
Okay, awesome. Okay, it is working. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Happy beautiful, beautiful day wherever you are. Welcome to BSH, Bezerra Spiritual Healing Center. Before I start today, I will ask for our dear sister Tanya to do our opening prayer, please.
So thank you so very much for inviting me, and let's we in these divine blessings as we are connected with the light that representing the sun as our major sun is our Lord Jesus Christ. Feeling the warmth, the harmony, the love, the truth, and asking our Heavenly Father, our Lord Jesus Christ, to bless our beloved brother Brian and bless each of us that we be open-minded with the spirit of wisdom so we can understand and accept and do the change that we are seeking for. Our Lord Jesus, may all the teachings, the divine examples that you have led to us here on earth, may today, through each of us and through our brother Brian, all the words that was prepared for him and for the spiritual helpers and the spiritual mentors may touch everybody in the heart, whatever they are in different levels and dimensions. May the Mother Nature, the Mother Earth, and all of the humankind feel the positive vibrations from these teachings today. With your permission, Lord Jesus, we are open our beautiful, lovely service that you allowed us to be together, meeting together in your name. And so be it, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you.
Sister. All right. So, for those who are seeing us for the very first time, we are Bezerra Spiritual Healing Center, and we have two parts on our service today. The first part, we will have someone speaking to us, and just in a minute, I will introduce you to the speaker. And then the second part, we have a hands-on healing, which we all vibrate together towards whatever necessity we are going through. And if we are not in need, we just vibrate for our brothers and sisters who are in need. We also keep praying for whoever person you bring for the vibration during the whole week. And if it is in treatment, we keep working for whole month. So at least for 4 weeks, this person is going to be on our prayers. And you can also be part of this process. So one thing that I would like to call out is that amongst all the classes and services that we have, that you can see right here in the screen, we have daily prayers from Monday to Saturday. Every day at 6 p.m. we get together, and for 15-20 minutes we do a prayer and we do a vibration, not only for those who are in treatment, but also for the entire planet. So you are welcome to join us, and it's in this exact same link. And then we have all the services and all the classes that you are more than welcome to join. You don't have to enroll. There is no payment. You can just show up, and we will be happy to discuss with you our findings in the books from the spirits on high. If you want to have more details about all this schedule, you can go to bshcenter.org, and you will see the entire details in there. So thank you for being here. And today we will have our dearest brother Brian talking to us. And for those who are meeting Brian for the very first time, Brian Abeel is a founding member of the Bezerra Spiritual Healing Center. At an early age, he could see and communicate with the spirits. However, he suppressed his spiritual gifts until a life-changing experience caused him to embrace his study of mediumship and healing. In 2005, Brian graduated from Nancy Bradley's Truth and Healing Center as a healing medium. He continued working with her until 2009, and then in 2012, Brian began studying mediumship and spiritism with Tanya and Greg Stewart of Brazilian Spiritual Healing. Brian is an environmentalist with over 33 years of experience working with various federal, state, local, and private agencies for the protection of California's environment, citizens, and property. Bless you, Brian. Brian is grateful for the divine opportunities, loving and serving God's will. And today he will be talking to us about Spiritism on the road, staying grounded and in service, which is really challenging, right? So, Brian, the stage is yours, my brother. God bless you. Thank you.
I'm unmuted. I've shared my screen.
We can see your desktop, so it's only a blue Windows page. Oh yeah, now we can see the presentation.
Okay, great. Spiritism on the road, staying grounded and in service. I've been wanting to give a presentation on this subject for quite some time. Because I spent so much time on the road since September of 2020 doing the work that I do. And, you know, we have those thoughts that come into our mind and we wonder that's a great idea and wonder when it will come to fruition, but we put it in the to-do list, and other things, you know, sometimes take a higher priority. But everything began to line up within the last 2 months for this. Things started to show a light of easing off for work. I realized that I would be able to make this this speaking appointment, and I remembered I wanted to do this presentation, and then I started to pray on it and commune with God and commune with my spirit guide, and then the download began. And I find this very interesting because this is actually how a lot of my presentations happen for BSH and for work and for personal things now. I couldn't say that maybe 6 years ago, but being a part of Spiritism has given me the tools to maintain my harmony and grow spiritually wherever I am. So today I kind of wanted to take you on a trip with me, on a journey. And at the same time, I'm hoping that you can share perhaps a journey that you are on, no matter how big or small these journeys are. There's always a harmony that we need to maintain, and to be in tune with God and be in tune with our surroundings and being in service, whatever that service might be, because it's not for us to judge, it's to allow God to unfold it for us and accept the opportunities in front of us, and do it in a way to where we're constantly working on our inner transformation, so we're growing spiritually. So we have what's going on inside of us, and at the same time, we're obtaining the wisdom by working on what's outside of us and living life and interacting with everyone. So I wanted to begin it with our little reading from chapter 25 of our daily bread about the path. And I'll get right to it. It starts off, as you can see on the screen, with Jesus. And those who are on the path are the ones in whom the word has been sown. But having heard it, Satan soon comes and takes away the word that had been sown in them. Now the chapter. Jesus is our perennial path leading to divine love. Joining him are all the hope-filled spirits of goodwill, sincere adherents of the sanctifying way. From this blessed and eternal path comes the seeds of the heavenly light given to ordinary men and women. It is crucial for people to be aware of this, so that this treasure does not slip by unnoticed. The sanctifying seed will always appear in the midst of the most varied circumstances. Just as the generous wind freely spreads the principles of life among the plants, the invisible kindness provides all hearts the opportunity of assessing the path of love. Nearly always, the divine spark appears in ordinary daily activities, in a book, in a significant incident at work, or in the timely remark by a friend. If harmful weeds occupy the soil of your heart, and if you have already received the heavenly principle, cultivate it devoutly, shelter it in the garden of your soul. The human word may fail, but the word of the Lord is imperishable. Accept it and comply with it, because if you flee from the imperatives of the eternal life, sooner or later, the angel or affliction will visit your spirit, indicating new paths to follow. So sometimes with this work that I do in the fire recovery work, I'm gone for periods of time, and they could be short and they could be long, but I take a step away from BSH, but BSH is always with me. Spiritism is always with me. I may not have the gospel with me. I may not have the daily bread with me. I may not have a spirits book. I may not have any book to take a look at. But somehow I'm always connected, and what connects me is always remembering the greatest commandment, which is thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. The second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as myself. And I remember that, living the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And as we've been educated on time and time again, if we follow this golden rule, everything falls into place. And our defects can turn into virtues. Of course, we always have to do the work. It's just not always remembering that and always living that. But we have to put in the work. We have to learn as we go about and live this life, living in this envelope that we've been given on this terrestrial earth. So in my work, this is just a journey. Everybody's on a journey. But what we do is we have a map, as you can see on the left-hand side, of parcels that we have to go to. And right in the center of it is actually Greenville, which was like 85% destroyed. And then there are some pictures here of Greenville and the commercial district, with a little bit of residential in between. You've asked me in the past what I do, and what we do is we go to these parcels, as in this next picture, and we assess it in the top left. We walk through it. We'll grab things like a battery from a car that's fried at the top right, may remove diesel in a tank on the middle right, may pump waste from a drum in the bottom center. And then we have to take it all back to a gear truck where we take it back to our staging area. This is a journey. This is what we'll do day in and day out. And so when I wake up in the morning and when I go to bed, I'm always thinking about the work that we're doing, because that's my main focus when we're there. But I do it with the tools that I have gained through Spiritism. And I couldn't say this probably, 6 years ago. I met Tanya and Greg in 2012. I left for a little bit and then came back to BSH 2014. But it wasn't really until we opened up the center to where I really began to embrace Spiritism, because what we did is we educated ourselves together through readings and listening to each other talk and reading the codifications. But what I've learned when I go on the road, when I'm separated from my family and friends of BSH, where I'm not truly separated because I'm still spiritually connected, but I think you get the drift as I go on the road. I have to live that physical world and that physical world. And when I go about that, there's important things that take place for me. And I believe that they take place, that they're important to you as well. And we're reminded of a lot of these. But this is kind of like my tool bag that I go to. And it's prayer, meditation, application, education. That's life. That's being out there in the real world. And then reflection, thinking about what's happened during the day, how I applied myself, how I interacted with others. And then the faith plays into it of how I go about all that and live life. We have prayer. And prayer, as we know, is putting ourselves in the hands of God, connecting with God. And there's a wonderful chapter in the Gospel according to Spiritism, title 27, Ask and You Shall Receive. That really lays out the pathway for prayer, the characteristics of it, the effectiveness, the action, the power of it, when to do it. And at the end, the Spirit's teaching reminds us of, this is really one of the first things that you need to do when you wake up. And so I make prayer a very important part of when I wake up. Of course, all the things that I just previously mentioned on the last page, there's no to me, they happen in order and out of order. You could be going about your day and something happens and you pray. You don't know what the answer is to the situation, but you stop and you commune with God. You're invoking a communication with the spirit world. And there are times when you pray, when it's for gratitude, being thankful for something, letting God know about how wonderful God is, or other people are, or asking for a request. I need an answer. I need it for me, or I need it for a friend. And so God is very important, because and prayer is very important for me to start the day off, and I hope it is for you. And I've heard all of you talk about that in your presentations and the daily activities that we share with each other. And being in prayer really sets things in motion to understand how to be in service for the day, how to conduct myself. But through prayer can be an evolution, and it involves with working on ourselves. If we want prayer to be effective, wherever we are, whatever journey we're on, remember, we always have to do the work. We have to do the education. We have to take a look at ourselves. And if we go into prayer with anger and frustration about something or someone, that is going to occupy our mind. That is going to cause a corrosion within us. That's going to cause a corrosion in our ability, our avenue of communication, because we're going to break down somewhat, because our focus has been diverted to this upsetting situation, and we have to learn to let it go. And a beautiful part of the Daily Bread in chapter 45 lays that out to think about. Jesus said, and while you are praying, forgive. For in chapter 45, it is told The sincere attitude of the soul at prayer does not obey ordinary mechanical movements. While involved in the daily struggle, people invariably heed the automizings of a material aspect of life, which changes unnoticeably over time. However, when the soul turns toward the divine sanctuaries of the higher planes through prayer, one's consciousness is put in contact with the eternal and creative meaning of the infinite life. All disciples should examine the sensations they experience when they pray to the Most High and understand that it is crucial for them to maintain their inner peace before people and circumstantial conditions on the pathway. A mind that prays is active in the invisible realms. Even when they do not know each other in the arena of conventional activities, incarnate minds communicate with one another through the delicate fibers of the wishes manifested in prayer. In such instances, which we should consecrate exclusively to the highest part of our individuality, we send our messages, appeals, intentions, plans, and concerns that seek a suitable objective. Those who consciously or unconsciously utilize this opportunity to expand the currents of evil are to be pitied. That is why Jesus, being aware of how rare guilt-free men and women are, offered this expressive plan of love to the benefit of every disciple of the gospel. And while you are praying, forgive. It took quite some time to learn how to apply this message. And it took a lot of inner transformation, which we never stop doing, because as soon as we do, we go dormant. And I applaud everyone, because I've seen us all climb that mountain of forgiveness, and I've seen all of you transcend very beautifully spiritually. Prayer, I've felt this transcendence in prayer because I've been able to detach forgiveness. I don't hold on to forgiveness. I realize that all I need to do is judge myself when I'm living life, no matter where I am, no matter what journey I am. And that has opened me up to a more cleaner connection with God, so I can hear the messages clearly and also be in tune with a higher presence, the emissaries of light rather than the emissaries of darkness. Because when we pray, we can attach to other beings based on our vibration. So we need to be concerned with where our thoughts are, where our intentions. Are we selfish? Are we selfless? Are we loving? Or are we hating? Because when we pray, we're sending out that vibration. We know through the action of prayer, our thoughts vibrate. They establish that fluidic currents that we've talked about so much. And we establish a connection with the spirit to help influence us and answer our summons. So how do you wish to be helped? Do you wish to be helped with hate or anger? By vibrating hate and anger? Or do you wish to help and serve yourself and your neighbor with love? And anyway, through this action of prayer, which we learn how to elevate it through this effectiveness of clearing our mind, clearing ourselves, and being in the moment and totally in tune with God and telling God how we're feeling and what we're asking. And we'd actually, when we're in that mode, the answers do come. They may not come right away, but they come with courage and patience and resignation, which God gives us. Because in doing this action, focusing on the effectiveness of your prayer and the action that comes from it, we learn to live on God's terms, God's time, and know that the answers will come, and we await the answers. But we still, when the answers come, we retain the merit for the decisions we make, because God still gives us free will. So the action of prayer for me when I'm on this journey of doing this firework is, God, please help me be in service to the crew so that they can do a good job. So when we meet an owner, we can stay open. I can let them do their job. I can communicate with the owner, and may I be able to answer all the owner's questions and answers, and may I do it with the love that you teach me. Could be something like that. You know, I would love to know how prayer helps set your day, helps set your focus, how you receive the message to be in service. And that's what prayer does for me. But it's taken time to get to that point. And Spiritism has helped, and inner transformation has been the greatest tool, the greatest reward to allow that to unfold. Then I go into meditation and I try to think about what I'm praying for. And maybe there's not the answers, but I'm waiting for the answers to come. So I'm trying to still my mind. You know, there's so many things that can race through our minds wherever we are, whatever journey that we're on. Letting go and allowing yourself to be in the moment. And right now, the preparation for this presentation is past. What's going to come after this presentation, I don't know. But the most important moment right now is talking to you and participating with you in this presentation. And that's where I try to put myself in this meditation. And so I tend to, and the meditation can happen any time of the day. It can be standing, walking, driving. I know that they say, don't meditate while you drive, but you can put on some great music, some meditating music, and let your mind just relax. And it's amazing how the answers can come. That happened a lot for me between parcels to parcels. Knowing that perhaps we're going to go to a parcel that's very big and we might have a cantankerous owner, and I'm like, God, please help me find the answer. And we had a 20-minute drive and listen to some music, and next thing I know, I'm in this zone, and the answer just seems to come because I'm not even thinking about it. And what helps is a mantra. Love can be your mantra for the day. Any virtue can be your mantra. Whatever is going to help you to be in service, that's an excellent mantra. There's no right or wrong mantra. It's something that's going to help you get into that focus where you can let everything go and get into the moment so you can have the solution. You can understand what you're asking of God in your prayer and how to receive what you're asking, which may not come right away. There's things that have to happen. So when in meditation, you can focus on your prayer. You can focus on how you want to serve God for that day. You can focus on what you're struggling with, what's an obstacle for you, what's a blockage. And we all know for inner transformation, how to do it is to know thyself, to look at thyself, not judge your neighbor, judge yourself. From the head to the toe, from the outside of our skin to the inside, spiritually, everything that we can know about us, because that helps us. And connecting deeper with God through prayer, connecting deeper to the answers through meditation, and allows us to truly hear the call of service and what that call is. And on this journey of working with the owners who have lost things on their properties, the service is ultimately not for me, not for a crew. It's for the people that we're there for. And it's to help them speed up the process, have it move a step forward so that they can rebuild their lives and get back to normalcy, whatever normalcy is at that point. And for me, that can be a daily mantra for the meditation as well. That's the main goal. I'm sure that we all have a goal, an objective on any journey that we are on. And Spiritism is intertwined with that to help on the journey, so that we stay on the journey, so that we stay on the narrow path, and we love God and we love our neighbor and do unto others as we want others to do to ourselves. Because when we do, the answers come, and they definitely serve what we've been directed to do in that journey. We have to do our part. And one of the parts is, after prayer and meditation, is to go out into the real world. And that's where we apply ourselves and we educate ourselves through interacting, listening, observing, communicating, discussing, maybe mentoring, being mentored ourselves, expressing ourselves, hearing others express themselves, serving in whatever way that we can to better the lives of another. And also it involves reading, educating ourselves, working with each other, getting together, BSH, be it virtually or in person, and reading a book, doing rescue work, reading the daily bread, reading the gospel, talking about it, praying. But when we're doing this application and education, what's happening is wisdom is occurring. Now, do we want to, how do you want to embrace that wisdom? How do you want to learn from it? How do you want to grow from it? And how do you want to use that wisdom so that others can do the same? It comes in the latter part of the day, or it could come in the middle of the day. It could also come in the morning when you wake to do your prayer. Is reflection in the Spirit's book. Question 919, what is the most effective means for improving ourselves in this life and for the resisting the draw of evil? A sage of antiquity has told you, know thyself. Know thyself. And how to know thyself is to look at yourself. What are you tuning into every day? What's your frequency that you're on? Are you tuning into a station of love and peace? Are you tuning into a station of hate and anger? Are you tuning into a station of peace and loving and giving? Are you tuning in to a station of taking and receiving? Because we need to be in tune with what we are in tune with. Because when we're in tune with something, that's what we live. The different thicknesses of the mind will absorb different frequencies of thought. Different thicknesses of the mind will absorb different frequencies of thought. So you go about your day, and let's say that I have been tuning into a station that says that government is here to serve. Government is here to help. Government can do this, government can do that. And then I go to a parcel, and then I have an owner who does not want me on his parcel, tells me to get lost. He does not want government on his property, and I can tell him what I'm here to do for government, and I'm trying to help. But this person doesn't want to agree with that frequency, which is also a vibration that I'm sending at him, because this is how I'm thinking. I'm thinking of the government can help, so here I am to help, and this is what we can do to help. Or I could be, and in talking with them, I could get them to understand of the help that he can receive and the benefits to him. Or I could be tuning in to something where I'm always hearing about people don't know how to do things. You have to take care of yourself. They're never trust anybody. If someone comes at you, you come at them. And then I go to a parcel, and I'm taking that frequency and that vibration now, because I'm in that state of mind of that frequency. And so I bring it to that person who's on that parcel. And I get angry with them, because that's all I know is to be angry and frustrated with another person and can't trust another person. And we can't get our work done. So when I'm doing my reflection, I'm thinking about, what is my will? What are my thoughts? What are my actions? In the first example, my thought is I want to serve. So I'm tuning in to something that serves. And that tuning in was how government helps. And so I'm thinking about how we can help as government. And so I go to a parcel and I try to act in a way to where I am helping. I am doing what we can do to better that person's life. And the reactions in it, and how, and the way it's explained to the parcel owner, and they're very happy instead of being sad and upset at first. And what are the effects? The people begin to feel like they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. They can start to see things moving in the right direction to recover. And how do you feel? I know in those moments I feel really great, because I'm helping someone who's in need. You know, I do get paid for this, but it is a form of charity as well, as fully triage these people and understand what they're going through. And all of you do that in your journeys. Every day you're taking a look. I hear all of you talking about what you've done in your day, and how you're interacting with someone, and what joy it brought you for what happened. Now, I could be living the second example, where I'm tuning into something where I'm hearing the words of anger and hate always. And so I'm in a state of anger and hate, and I don't want to help anybody, but I'm doing this work and I have to go to a property, and here I am dealing with someone who's in the same state of mind. And all we do is we bang heads. And I leave, we don't get our job done. I might say a few things. I could get in trouble. I could have to deal with human resources. Who knows what could have happened? But in those moments of reflection, and I think back, I realized, boy, I could have done it different. What can I do different about it? How did I act? Why was I thinking that way? How am I treating myself? Am I taking time out? Am I allowing myself to better focus on what my mission is? Relieving forgiveness, or letting go of feeling upset with someone. That's when I need to start doing some modifications to myself. And I do that by reading Kardec's codifications, reading the Spiritism psychograph books, working on the inner transformation, looking at my defects and turning them into virtues. If I see a defect, the way that maybe I acted in the second example, then perhaps maybe I need to change my frequency, listen to a different station, one of love. And so I turn into love, and then I try to think love, and then next thing I know, I act with love. And one of the other greatest tools, reflection aids, is working with our sisters and brothers. Everyone has perspective. Everyone can teach us. Even the parcel owner, an example 1 and example 2 have something to teach me. And down below, there are some links that we're all aware of. And the third one on the far right is Virtue for Life. We shared that with each other early on in BSH, being at the center, where we worked on a large part of our focus in the beginning was inner transformation. Dr. Paulo, God love him, him and the other spirits, they knew that that's what we needed to do in order to be functioning as a center today, and what we do today, and what we will do tomorrow. So there's a section on our daily bread reflections, and I'm just going to check to see how much time I've spent talking. We're going to go to chapter 15 for reflections on our daily bread. I'm about to close this off.
You have time, brother. Don't worry.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good. So thoughts. It starts with, as for the rest, my brothers, everything that is true, everything that is honest, everything that is just, everything that is pure, everything that is lovely, everything that is admirable. If there's anything virtuous and praiseworthy, think on this. All human endeavors are the result of human thoughts. Before anything else, the evil and the good, the ugly and the beautiful lived in the mental font that produced them in the ongoing activities of life. The gospel lays out the generous course for the human mind to renew itself on the paths of higher spirituality. Proclaiming the need for such a transformation on the way to the higher realms. It is not only with the intellectual fine points of philosophy that the disciples will begin their efforts to accomplish this goal. Renewing one's thoughts is not as easy as it may appear at first glance. It demands a large capacity for self-denial, profound self-control, qualities that humans cannot achieve without work and heartfelt sacrifice. Thus, many servants of Christ just change the words they use, believing that they have reformed their thoughts. However, at recapitulating retentive experiences when circumstances repeat themselves, they once again encounter the same problems as before because obstacles and darkness have remained in their mind like hidden phantoms. To think is to create. The manifestation of this creation may not play itself out all at once in the arena of transitory effects, but the object formed by the power of the mind lives in the inner world, demanding special attention for the endeavor of continuity or extinction. Paul's advice to the Philippians displays sublime content. Disciples who are able to comprehend its profound essence, who heed it each and every day by trying to see the true, honest, just, pure, and lovely side of all things, will have discovered the divine formula. So there's a little story of that trip, and with the Dixie Fire. I've worked numerous fires now in fire recovery, and at first I was in all of it, and like, what do I do? But the answers always came because of faith. Spiritism had a lot to do with that, and developing my faith and expanding my faith and realizing I don't have all the answers, but the answers will come. I just put myself in the hands of God. And like I said, every day I start with a prayer and I go into meditation and I go out and I live the world. And on these trips, we're going from parcel to parcel, and I'm working with a crew. And we're meeting different people along the way and getting our work done and removing the hazardous waste from the properties. And at this fire, we had 2 teams, and I was a lead. And I was excited this one day. It was the Monday of the last Tuesday of the last week of being there. And another gentleman had switched places with another one because another one, he had to go off and do some other things. And his name was Bill, the one who came into the fold. There was an accident on the road, and I stopped, and so did the gear truck that was in front of us, one of the teams, the crew, and then the Bill, who was a certified asbestos consultant behind me. I got out and I started talking to him. We're watching the CHP and the tow truck do their thing, and the next thing you know, we saw the CHP started to wave us through, and so I got back in the car and started driving around, and I got to this one point on the road that we were traveling to get to where we needed to go, and my whole life just changed. think about those times when you're on a journey or you're anywhere. It could even just be for a day to the grocery store. It could be a drive to the ocean. It could be a flight across the country for an extended stay. Whatever it is, we always seem to have something that pops up that throws us astray, that just confuses us or makes us wonder, what now? What do we do? And we're trying to stay always, in harmony and spiritually connected. And here I am praying in the morning and doing the meditation. And I'm like, I'm in that aha moment. And all of a sudden, take that turn, go along the pathway, and all of a sudden, 38, 35, 30, 25, 18. I'm losing pressure in one of my front tires. Obviously, something has happened. I need to get the attention to my gear truck. I'm flashing lights, trying to get their attention, honking the horn. I get to the point where it's about 18. I got to pull over, and I start to pull over. A gear truck keeps going. Didn't get my attention. I'm able to stick my hand out and wave to Bill, and Bill came up and followed me, and we switched out my gear into his car and his gear. He went and met the other team. I'm thinking about how we're going to run this day. We have two teams going to a 60-acre parcel, and I got to deal with a flat tire. I wonder how long this is going to take. I'm going to keep it short here. I went through so many emotions, so many thoughts, so many feelings, and I felt like I was letting down so many people. But the team just rolled with it, and they went and did their work. The rental car, they did their work. The tow truck driver did his work. All in all, I was able to get the car fixed, the tire fixed, but I was away for the whole day. But I had faith in all the people because of the working relationships that we had with them. But I tell you, I still was worried because during this whole time during the day, when I'm sitting at this one spot waiting for the tow truck driver, and then the tow truck driver came, and then waiting for the taxi to come to pick me up, which is out in the rural area. So it took a while. I did a lot of praying. For one thing that was bothering me is that I had left my power bank back at the hotel. I had no backup energy for my phones, 2 phones, and my phones were going dead. And I had a taxi driver call me. I had a tow truck driver call me. I had the rental car calling me. And I'm like, God, if there's anything you can do for me, please help me before my energy runs out on my phone or people aren't going to be able to find me. And about after waiting for 2 hours, another foreman who wasn't on the job with us, but who was coming in to help manifest the waste that we had taken to staging, she drove by, she saw me, she pulled up, and she waited for me until the taxi driver came. I was able to charge my phones, and I was able to stay in connection with everybody. I just say that because in all of it, I had faith that everything that would work out. I couldn't say that 6 years ago. And being in a moment like this, everything would fall apart. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know how to communicate because I would be caught up in the anxiety of the moment. But through prayer and meditation, working on my inner transformation, removing defects and turning them into virtues and strengthening, working on thyself rather than trying to work on another, I was able to develop what we call faith. And as you all know, when we further develop our faith, wonderful things happen because we put ourselves in the hands of God to allow what needs to happen at a certain time. Not what we want always, but what we need, we'll receive. And I received that angel who came and helped charge my phone, helped make sure I was going to be on my way, and I was. And there's another quick story. Although through this whole fire, I was seeing animals. And it broke my heart. And part of my prayer and part of my meditation would be for the animals that were in the area. And there was a cat that got my heart. That cat was not the one that I ended up adopting, but that cat led me to Kiki. And so I add this because no matter what journey you're on, you're going to have obstacles. And we can learn from those obstacles, and those obstacles bring wisdom. And we can do it with harmony, and we can do it in service. We do it by staying connected to God. We do what we have been informed and educated on doing, and how to stay in tune with God. And for me, on my journeys away from BSH, it's prayer and meditation and reflection to maintain that harmony. And in doing so, I was able to listen to the spirits, and the spirits led me on a way to adopt Kiki. And what's so surprising is I didn't know how it would go, but I put my faith in God, and God knows best. And she is a gem. And there's more to share with you in time as time goes on of why she's such a gem. But just to leave you with a little note of what she's like now, she's like a horse in the house. She has this gallop as she runs down the hallway. There's so much to tell you, and it's such a beautiful moment where I could be focused on that one day where I got the flat and how terrible it was and all the problems that I dealt with. All that was just a moment of blessings and thankfulness and wisdom. That's what I took away from it. And doing so and staying focused, I was able to stay focused enough to God to give me a little gift, a gift that will benefit all. So wherever we are on our journey, and we all will always be on a journey. Life is a journey. We all have these little sub-journeys within this journey we call life here on earth. I hope that you can focus on the positives. I hope you can see the gifts that you receive while you're on this journey. But to have you think about your journey and how your week's going to go, I want to leave you with this chapter, chapter 20, our daily bread. The journey. Nevertheless, I must walk today, tomorrow, and the next day. It is important to carry on in the quest for definitive spiritual growth. It is indispensable to press on, overcoming obstacles and darkness, transforming all afflictions and difficulties into steps of ascension. In outlining his objective, Jesus referred to his journey toward Jerusalem, where his final glorification through martyrdom awaited him. He can apply this same lesson to our own unending experiences, symbolized by our own redemptive testimony's journey toward Jerusalem. However, we must clarify the characteristics of this journey for the acquisition of eternal values. Many believe that pressing onward means seeking circumstances of prominence in the world, winning possessions of temporary renown or bringing vast financial wealth into one's own personal sphere. But this is not so. In this regard, so-called regular people perhaps have greater potential for success. In fleeting situations, the dominant personality's journey is filled with dangers, complex responsibilities, and atrocious threats. The feeling of having reached the top increases the feeling of the downfall. It is imperative to carry on, but the journey is the responsibility of the eternal spirit in an arena of inner acquisitions. Very often, persons who believe they are at the height of their journey toward the divine wisdom are only paralyzed in delusion. It is important to work to know oneself, to enlighten oneself, and to listen to Christ each and every day. In order to imprint this lesson within us, we have been born on the earth to share in its struggles and to spend its bodies. And on it, we will be reborn again. So thank you, and good luck on your journey.
I don't know if I can speak right now, Brian. It was really, really, really beautiful. Oh, I'm sorry. And touching, because this is exactly what it is, like, which are the flat tires that we have in our lives. And when we feel like we are running out of options, all the tools that you mentioned, prayer, meditation, education, reflection, and faith, those are really the tools that we all need for us to find those options. Because, I mean, exactly as you were there, you didn't see that there could be someone coming for you, and then this person came and helped it. So I think that is beautiful, and using those tools is our decision. And you said something that makes a lot of sense. We retain the merits of the decisions we make. That's it. The tools are there. I mean, we are not alone. Even when we think that we are running out of option, and whenever we feel lost, the tools are there. So it's our decision to use them. Thank you, brother. God bless you very, very much. Does anyone have any comment, any question?
I'll comment. I was trying to wait for others. I don't want to hog everything, but loss, I think, is tremendous. A lot of these people we know have been losing their homes, their cars, everything in these fires. And, I've lost a home, a car, and a job. And I mean, they're traumatic. And because you're so intertwined with each one, and you look at your home and it becomes a part of you, And I say that to say, when these people lost their homes in these fires, who's to say what God was saying to them? It's a big, huge push to connect back with God, or connect to whatever it is that God is trying to get you to see or to learn. And nothing else, that everything is temporary. Everything. From the body to the home, everything we see here is temporary. The only thing we're taking is what we put in here. That's it. And and every time someone passes, that's what I think about, that huge journey that we have, this huge journey that we're all taking, and what we're learning from it. That's it, and connecting with God always. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Yeah, hi. I got my 2 cents. I need to get a copy of Our Daily Bread. Wonderful presentation. Thank you, Brian. I got to have a copy on hand.
Thank you, Brian. I really enjoyed how you, I know you put your heart and your experience in this presentation. And you did a very, very good job on that, on how you said, how you do the prayers, the meditation, the reflection, doing the work of the inner transformation, the faith. And then you say, okay, how do I apply it out to the real world? How do I take it out there and use all these spiritual tools that I received and use them out to the people in whichever way or form that comes to you. And I thought you just did a really, really beautiful presentation. So I want to thank you for your time and your service and bringing this to us.
Hey, Brian, I really appreciate your presentation. It's a great topic. It brings us to the aspect of how each of us, everyone here, have the opportunity to do the same in each different line of work that we're involved with, right? So you're waiting to great presentation about how you do your job, how your perspective is, and this can actually become like a professional development training tool for all of us to learn how to go by on our daily activities and apply all these techniques, all these tools and strategies to become more spiritualized. So I really appreciate that very much. And God knows what was the reason you took away from that job, from that assignment, right? To a flat tire. So divine providence is always working, and that they know what's best for us. And maybe it was not convenient for you to be where you wanted to be at that day or assigned to be. But anyways, that's an answer that you're going to get at some point in time. You're going to know for sure. And another thing that you mentioned was about the aspect of prayer, right? It is interesting because we in general believe that for us to be in a state of prayer, we have to be almost like a saint, like almost in meditation and all that. But have you thought about when you are at the moment of anger, when you throw that thought out there that can be in a prayer, it's always answered. I've been in situations where I was a moment of desperation, and that very moment that I thought that I would not be clean enough to be in a prayer state, but at that moment, I called out. I had my answer. So I think it has to do with the intent, or what is it that you're looking for, and God is always there to help us out. So I really appreciate your presentation. And one last thing is about, there was a reference to Jesus' quote. And on that quote, there is a mention of Satan, right? Satan comes and takes away our tools and all that on a daily basis. And Satan, as we know, it does not exist per se. However, it is the distractions. It is the temptations that we carry with us, right? That we need to be attentive to. So it was very enlightening. I appreciate your presentation, and God bless you. Thank you. And that was funny that you asked God to charge your phone. That was good.
Right. You know why, Charles? Use times before in the BSH and Brazilian healing, when we start, people would get off the healing when we finish the healing with the phone charge. And the energy was amazing. Many people had that experience. You remember, Brian? So I believe that comes from that experience that many of us had before. So Brian, thanks so much. It is such a pleasure being with you in this journey for long now. Let's we refer to a time as a universe is nothing. It's like a 1 minute. But it is so appreciative to see your growth, your spiritual experiences, and your examples. What make me remember, listen to you today? I read somewhere that let we stop preach Jesus and let we start exemplify his examples. So today for me, you are exemplified all the teachings, all the lessons that you have been studying lives and lifetimes and many, many times. And I think I appreciate to see and to share this moment with you. Thanks so very much. And to be here, go back to your center and share with us your lessons in your life. Thanks so very much. Appreciate you.
Brian, great job. Thank you for all that you contributed today. And I want to give you a kudo for your discipline. It's absolutely inspirational. I think the core is your faith, the ultimate belief that God is in charge and will provide what is necessary, and that the struggles he presents to all of us are meant to occur. And your discipline in understanding yourself around that is exemplary. Thank you.
All right. That's beautiful. Okay, go ahead, Brian.
uh, all that you have said, all of you, it's just not words to me. It's heartstrings. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I'm grateful to have this opportunity to present. I'm speechless. It's just, I'm kind of in awe of all of you right now. Thank you.
Beautiful. Wow, a lot of energy. That was beautiful. All right, so Brian, thank you so much once more, my dear brother. God bless you. God bless your family. Let's take 2 minutes break or 3 minutes break. Let's see what time is it. Yeah, so 2 minutes break, and then it's what time is in Sacramento?
11:08.
11:08. So it's 11:08. We'll resume 11:10, and we will do the second part. I'm sorry, guys.
You see, just is a matter of time because here is a 2:08.
2. Yeah, so here's 1. Yeah, okay.
12:08 right here.
Okay, so don't forget to grab your bottle of water, and then if you want to bring someone for vibration, please feel free to send the name either through the chat or WhatsApp, however you want.